I wanted to go through this with you real quick with this draft order because today breaking news hit that the Bears are now entertaining trading number 1. What does that mean? I don't think that necessarily means Justin Fields is in harm's way, but Justin Fields came out and said, can we build a dome? I'm tired of the wind and all this old shit. So I'm like, well, this is the draft order. If the Chicago Bears trade that 1 up, who in your estimation is the most NFL ready QB coming out?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I like Bryce the best out of all the quarterbacks. I think if CJ really helped himself playing the way he played in that Georgia game. And then they're going to have a bunch of people like Anthony Richardson. I read something yesterday. Anthony Richardson is a combination of like Cam Newton and fucking like Josh Allen. And you're like, Jesus Christ, the kid was so inconsistent at Florida. I know he's big. I know he has a big arm. He's talented, but you can't overhype, in just qualities over actual game film. Like, how did he play the game? So I would think that Bryce and CJ, that's the conversation. I know people love Will Levis out of Kentucky because he had a great year 2 years ago. But he was average as shit.
He's got a big whip, right? Big arm.
Yeah, he's got a massive arm.
It's unbelievable. Quick release. But
I've seen guys like that so many times in these NFL drafts where it's like, yeah, big arm. Film was just okay. Like, you can miss me with that bullshit. I'm not taking that kid in the top 10.
So if Chicago really entertained getting rid of Justin Fields, like, that team is shit right now. Argue the Bears. I would argue the Bears have what, second worst roster in football to the Houston. I would say to Houston, they're probably second worst roster.
Yep.
So if you got the second worst roster and you get rid of Fields and you bring in a Q, like, I don't know if it matters who you bring in from college, Zach. They're going to get fucking demolished just like Justin did year 1.
Right. We already watched it with Justin, right? Like, I'm not saying he played great or he, he didn't have some bad throws, but he had no chance. And so you just trade Justin and bring in Bryce Young. What the fuck does Bryce Young have? He still's got nothing. Like,
and you're a rookie, Zach. How many rookies ball out in the league?
Never happens.
Like, Mahomes benefited from sitting out behind Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers benefited from being behind Favre. I think Jordan Love, if he does end up being the guy this year, I think he benefited just through pure osmosis from Aaron Rodgers. And then, and I agree. What about the kid? Do you like the kid? I recruited the kid out of high school, the Kyler Trask kid from that never played in high school at Manville in Houston. You recruited that area, I'm sure, a lot. I'm like, dog, kid never played, but he stuck it out, played all 4 years there, and backed up Tyreek Hill or whatever his name was, or
Derek King.
Derek King, King. And he balled. He got me some money the other day in the XFL. I'm like, dog, you backed him up, didn't fucking play, go to Florida, and now you behind Tom Brady the last few years. I bet you that motherfucker ends up being pretty good now if he ends up being the starter.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a chance. I wasn't in love with him coming out of Florida, but I mean, that's a hell of a story, though. I mean, that kid came.
Hell yeah.
How the fuck he got an offer to Florida? I mean, he had a bunch of small school offers, and then Florida pulled the trigger on a kid that never played in high school. Like, that shit never happened.
You know the story on that?
No.
The motherfucker. So I know the head coach real well. I had like 5 Manville kids at Indy, all ballers. The head coach sends a kid to a bunch of camps on one of those little nationwide tours. He just sent them on all these little different, how all the camps and shit. He goes down to Florida. He just he looked fucking, he's big, he's physical, he rips it. And they're like, fuck, where you at? And then they're like, I'm here. So they come to school expecting to see him, and it's King starting.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, what's going on, coach? And they're like, dude, I got this kid. Yeah. And he's already committed to Houston, and he's going to stay home. And he's like, you shitting me. He's like, we like him so much, man. We're gonna take him. And the motherfuckers actually just pull the trigger, which you don't really see, right? You don't see a trigger guy on a camp kid like that.
No, I mean, you got to have, usually especially a quarterback, you got to have film to back it up, because a kid could have a good day throwing the ball in T-shirt and shorts at camp. You got to see him play the game.
Hell yeah. Like fucking Derek Carr. Right. Motherfucker looks good in pants and shit, but, he's fucking garbage. So If the Bears traded Fields, you would take who?
Bryce Young.
God, he's going to get fucking lit up.
Should I feel bad for whoever they take?
No, they have no O-line, Zach. They have no D-line. They have no wideouts. They have no fucking – so you're going to get scored on. Then you're going to expect your rookie to come in and lead the fucking team down and score a bunch of points. Like, come on, man. Alan in the chat said they'll take C.J. Stroud because of his size. I'm like, dog, it doesn't really matter. Justin Fields is a stud. Cam Newton was a big freak of nature that got rocked year one. Like, they're going to get lit up in this thing.
Yeah, they got a whole roster rebuild to do.